Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Just ahead of Ian Furness, he has a traffic report from Seattle. Our guests today on this Friday, including Ian and Thomas Drance from earlier, brought to you by Langley Chrysler. Don't struggle to find a great deal on new or used vehicles when Langley Chrysler has over 200 vehicles on the lot. Save up to $10,500 on Ram at Langley Chrysler, in-store or online at langleychrysler.com. We have traffic issues here in Vancouver, but you've driven in Seattle. The traffic issues here, nothing compared to Seattle. And with that, we bring in from KJR Sports Radio, Ian Furness. How are you?
I'm all right, fellas. How are you? It's a minor miracle I'm here today. I'll tell you that right now.
What happened?
I don't know. Idiot truck drivers driving into buildings and shutting off the entire entry points to the city. Outside of that, it's fine. It's just another day in Seattle, man. You know, the best thing about the pandemic, there was only one good thing, and that was nobody was on the road. At least down here. I don't know what it's like for you guys.
No, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, it was awesome. But, yeah, we're back to normal, at least in that regard. I'm not sure about this whole supply chain thing because where I come in, there's like a million semis every day. And it feels like they're all bringing supplies of some sort in. So, anyway, here we are. Let's go.
And you're the target. Okay.
I am.
The Kraken win again at home. How would you how do you explain or how would you describe the experience so far at Climate Pledge Arena with the Kraken? They're winning. The atmosphere seems great. What can you tell us?
I haven't been there, so I'm not sure. But it looks good. My daughter was there last night. It's the 20-something crowd, it feels like. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody says it's great. It's way too expensive for, and I don't. And guys, like, listen, I don't know how to what the barometer is because you know it's new to us, right? You know, ticket prices for NHL games, much like an NBA game, are just over the top nuts. Those 82 game schedule tickets are expensive. From my understanding, everything in the building is expensive. I mean, I think I mentioned to you guys 2 weeks ago, $9 waters. You know, I mean, they're kind of an interesting organization, and they charge for media parking, and they make things a little difficult. But once inside the building, the experience seems to be fantastic. You know, they're beating teams they probably should beat. I know Buffalo was above 500 when they came in, and that's good. Eberle got off the schneid. That's good as well. And you know, the prices are extreme. I mean, when I was on the road with them back east, I mean, it's, I would say, an average $2 or $3 higher more per product here than it is elsewhere. So that's a little bit steep. But, hey, listen, it's new to us. They're selling games out. The secondary market is still pretty thriving in terms of tickets. So, you know, so far so good.
An update as we switch gears here, Ian. Seahawks on a bye week. An update on Russell Wilson's health. We saw the shot of the pin that was removed from his hand.
Well, according to Russ, it's time to win, right? No pin, time to win, whatever his little thing was. Yeah, I mean, no time to sleep, no time for pins, whatever he's doing. Hey, I'm curious. I mean, is he going to play next week? We won't know. See, here's the thing. They're off this week. And because they're off, we don't get any kind of update in terms of, like, there's no injury report. Is he practicing or not practicing? Because literally they're not there. So we won't know anything. The first injury report would come, or practice report, they call it now, comes out on Wednesday. So I think that will be the first time we really get a clear picture. Pete will talk to the media on Monday, but heck, last time Pete talked, he didn't know the pin was coming out an hour later. So I wouldn't expect much there. I would expect us to see and have some more clarity probably on Wednesday when we see did he practice or not. I bet you guys a box of Timbits right now that when the practice report comes out, it'll say maybe Timbits and a crown. It'll say limited. Like, he'll be a limited practice participant, I'm guessing, on Wednesday.
Ian, I got to ask you, when Russell Wilson goes to social media and posts a picture of the pin removed and then a video of him throwing a football, do you think the team would have approved that? Because I'm just trying to put myself in a position where the Vancouver Canucks best player does that and would piss off the head coach. Like, I'm just going to ask you, you think he's got approval to do that?
Well, your head coach is always pissed off. So what's the difference? I mean, I don't think I've seen Travis Green smile since he was in Portland. So I mean, that guy's the most surly son of a gun I've ever seen in my life. So like, when's he happy, right? I mean, listen, if you guys have followed Russ over the years on social media, and I don't know if there's still such a thing on this great show like as Big Rye, the Twitter guy, but like those that are on the old the Twitter, most of his tweets and anything on social media is massively uncomfortable. So, and for other reasons, like lying in bed with his wife and talking about signing a contract and, the Mr. Unlimited and all that. So if he's going to throw a picture of himself throwing a football on Twitter, for Russ, that's a massive step forward. On a comfort level, at least, right? So, I mean, we're okay with it down here. Usually it's something that we just kind of makes you cringe and you're like, I can't watch. And then I watch it and why did I watch that? So this is no big deal.
Okay. I want to go back to the Kraken because yesterday Buffalo was there. They traded Eichel.
Yeah.
To
he
Vegas.
was a scratch last night, I think. I don't think he played.
No, what I'm trying to Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas keeps pulling off these monster trades. They keep trading their first-round picks, and then you look at Seattle, conservative Seattle since they've come, no major trades. Ron Francis taking it easy. What are your thoughts on when you see Seattle conservative and Vegas? They just love to shake, rattle, and roll and make big deals.
Well, I don't want to be the Kraken naysayer, but like, why weren't you involved in that deal? Like, why you? I think. I'm not sure the number right now. Is it 12 million? They're significant. 10. Okay, they're
10.
Yeah, significantly under the cap. They can't score. Not last night, notwithstanding. And actually last night, if not for Dustin Tokarski, they would have, scored 8 or 9. I mean, he was really good. He let one bad one in, but they I don't know. I'm not sure. In it for the long haul. You can get away with that a little bit as a expansion franchise, but like. There's guys like me that I don't want to hear in it for the long haul and in it for the future and all this kind of stuff because, Vegas proved one thing is you can win right now in the NHL in an expansion season. And I think just because of free agency, you can win immediately as well, especially in a salary cap league. Vegas has a complete disregard for that. They're like the LA Rams of hockey, right? Like we don't care. We're just going to go. And I love that attitude. Go get good players. Worry about how you're going to fit under the cap later, right? Like so they do that. In Seattle, Ron Francis, and maybe that's just who Ron Francis is. I mean, you guys know him as a player and as a GM. I mean, he's very conservative, very buttoned down.
Yes.
And so maybe it fits his personality. But to me, it's a little frustrating that Seattle wasn't even mentioned in those sweepstakes. But maybe Eichel said he didn't want to come. I don't know. Maybe he talked to Riley Shahan and said, "Hey, do you want to come to Seattle?" Nah, I don't want to come to Seattle. So I mean, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen them get involved. The draft equity. They didn't have enough to send back, right? I guess that'd be the one thing you could say is they didn't have a roster where you could send guys back necessarily. I mean, what was sent back to the other side from Vegas, Seattle doesn't have that to send back, but they certainly have draft equity.
Yeah, just under 8 in cap space for the Kraken. Before we let you go, we're bouncing around a lot here. Traffic, the Kraken, the
weather,
Seahawks.
Rain.
So back to the Seahawks. Mike Holmgren into the Ring of Honor on Halloween down there at Lumen Field. How is that era viewed? Because I'm not so sure it gets enough credit. How is that Holmgren-Hasselbeck era viewed in Seattle?
I think in a really high esteem.
Okay.
Now we have a lot of new fans. We call them the 12 since 12 down here, and when Russ came aboard and Pete and they started this run that started in 2012 with Russell Wilson's rookie year and Bobby and all those guys. Yeah. There's a huge, massive new fan base, but when Mike was here, and Matt Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander and Lofa Tatupu and that group, they went to a Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl in franchise history, and Mike Holmgren is revered here in this market. We use him; he's on our radio station. We're lucky enough to have him as part of us. Every one of us has him on once a week, and I look forward to the conversations, the stories. He's just a fabulous human being. And he brought something to Seattle that was much needed. When the franchise started, they were kind of goofy. And for those of us old enough to remember, Jack Patera and Efren Herrera, the fake field goals and all the goofy stuff they did. Then they went through a little downturn. They hired Chuck Knox, who is a Ring of Honor inductee as well, and just a football guy. And Chuck brought a level of, I think, professionalism to this team. He got fired with this awful ownership. And we went through this really tough time, Tom Flores and all these other guys. Mike brought it back. Mike brought a level of professionalism and raise the level of expectations here. And then Pete's taken it to a new level. So Mike is highly, highly thought of here in Seattle, as is Matt Hasselbeck, and they should be. And this is Mike's home now. I mean, he's got a street named after him in Green Bay, but he lives here permanently in Seattle with his wife Kathy. A huge asset to our community in terms of some of the things they do, and I just getting to know him over the last few years really well, as all of us have. I couldn't speak highly enough of the man. He is just a great, great human being, and we're lucky to have him here.
Understand that you've signed, before we let you go, you've signed a new contract with KJR. You'll be announcing it on Twitter in bed with your wife. I'm glad you brought that up because I thought that was really strange. Yeah. I'm glad, and I'm not the only one, so I feel a little bit better.
Well, I'm freaked out right now because I'm in the middle of said negotiations. So
never mind. Yeah.
I didn't know if you had some sort of inside info. Did they announce something that I didn't know about? What the hell's going on here?
No, but if it all goes well, you have to do that now.
Well, I don't know if either it's not going to go well or you know something I don't. So that's cool. That's awesome to know.
Hey, just be thankful your station isn't run by a bunch of suits out of Toronto because they're killing Vancouver radio. So
they're run by a bunch of suits out of San Antonio, but I don't know.
Okay.
Same thing everywhere, right?
Yep. Empty suits all around, but you guys just freaked me out, man. I'm like that's my next meeting right now, so that's good. I don't know.
Okay, we don't want to get you in trouble, Ian. We'll talk to you next week.
Look for an announcement later on.
Okay. We will.
In bed.
On Twitter. In bed.
On Twitter.
Maybe by yourself. Okay.
Maybe on Twitch.
Okay. Talk to you later, Ian.